Major Hurricane Lee 2023. Last modified, the 8th of September 2023. Hurricane Lee. Lee is a dangerous Category 5 hurricane, and further strengthening is possible. Lee's core is expected to move well north of the northern Leeward Islands, the Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico this weekend and early next week. Dangerous surf and life-threatening rip currents are likely in the northern Leeward Islands beginning later today, September 8. These conditions will spread westward and northward, affecting Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, the Turks and Caicos, the Bahamas, and Bermuda through the weekend. It is way too soon to know what level of impacts, if any, Lee might have along the U.S. East Coast, Atlantic Canada, or Bermuda late next week, particularly since the hurricane is expected to slow down considerably over the southwestern Atlantic. Regardless, dangerous surf and rip currents are expected along most of the U.S. East Coast beginning Sunday. Continue to monitor updates to Lee's forecast during the next several days. Lee remains an extremely powerful Category 5 hurricane. Satellite images indicate that Lee has a symmetric inner core with 10 nautical miles of circular and clear eyes and no indications of concentric eye walls forming yet. Although the hurricane is incredibly powerful, its wind field is not particularly large, with its tropical storm force winds extending roughly 100 nautical miles from the center. The Air Force hurricane hunters investigated Lee earlier this morning, September 8, and found that the pressure has fallen to about 926 MB, based on dropzone data. In addition, the maximum 700 MB flight level wind reported was 175 miles per hour, 153 knots, and the maximum surface SFMR wind was 180 miles per hour, 158 knots, but this estimate could be inflated. Blending these measurements, the initial wind speed is nudged upward to 165 miles per hour, 145 knots. Both the NOAA and Air Force hurricane hunters will further investigate Lee in a couple of hours. Since Lee is expected to remain in favorable atmospheric conditions while moving over even warmer waters during the next couple of days, it seems likely that the hurricane will at least maintain its intensity or become a little stronger during that time. The dominant factor for Lee's short-term intensity will be internal dynamics, like eye wall replacement cycles. These conditions will often cause fluctuations in the hurricane's strength, which are challenging to forecast. There likely will be some weakening beyond a few days when Lee moves over.